Well, we're over here on eBay, which means it's time to talk about Call Time Collector booster boxes. Is it worth it? We're going to talk about this product. I'm going to compare it to some other products in the past, but I've got a video that's going to be quick and to the point. It's going to help you make an informed decision on whether or not this product is for you, and the video starts right now.
Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to the day. Thank you for spending your time with us. I'm Jake. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. Today, we're talking about Call Time Collector boosters. Call Time is right around the corner. We have another collector booster product that's coming out. This product features all new frames, a Vorinclex with Phyrexian etching, a whole bunch of new bells and whistles, but is it just more of the same? I'm going to talk about this product as a collector, someone who's been collecting since 2009, someone who takes the game very seriously, who is a player and a collector. I'm going to talk about three main topics today after I break down what this product essentially is. And instead of a huge in-depth review where I cross-reference it with every single product that's come out in the past that's like it, I'm going to give you a breakdown to help you understand whether or not this product is for you. And I feel like this is going to work best because we're going to save time, and I'm going to tell you what you need to know, which is what I would want to know if I didn't know anything about this product. If you like these reviews where we talk about these expensive products that WotC pumps out, and I give you my honest opinion on them, I encourage you to click like and click subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel with just the click of a button. If you are a fan of Jake and Joel, head on over to Patreon. Any level gets you access to the Discord. There are monthly giveaways. Your name is in every single video, like you saw in the beginning of this one. Before I get into my main 3 points, let's go ahead and briefly talk about what Call Time Collector Booster is, what it's for, and what it's all about. So we're back over here on eBay, and as of right now, January 21st, 2021, this product is $199.97. So you got $200 burning a hole in your pocket, and you want to spend it on MTG. You're trying to figure out if Call Time is what you want to spend it on. If you're looking for a quick video that's going to tell you to buy it, I'll go ahead and do that for you right now. You've been good. Go ahead and buy it. You just need someone on the internet to tell you to buy it. Go do it. You've done your best. You're awesome. You should just buy the product. There we go. Now that you heard what you needed to hear, you can buy it and the video's over. But for those of you who want to stick around and hear a little bit more, yeah, let's talk about it. So what is Call Time Collector Boosters? Why is it so expensive? What is it about and who's it for? Well, essentially, it's a 12-pack booster box, unlike a regular booster box with 36 packs, that is going to have a more collectible, variant-infused, supercharged pack opening experience. It's going to be packed full of goodies like the ones I'm about to show you here. I should mention this, all articles that I reference will be in the description of the video if you want to go and check those out yourself. This article, posted on January 7th, 2021, is all about collecting Call Time. It's going to give you an idea of what's in each slot. There's a really nice breakdown here of what's in everything. You can go through, you can read about it, you can look at all these cards, you can ooh and ah at all of the extended variants and the new flip cards and all of the new planeswalkers. I'm not going to get into all of that and break down what's in each pack. The reason I'm not going to do that is because I've done it for every single video. So if you want to go check out any of the other Is It Worth It videos, I suggest you go check out Commander Legends Collector Is It Worth It? I'll put it in the cards right now. I'm not going to get into that because it's more of the same, which is me just being like, watch all of these variants tank as they come out. And I want to do this video a little bit differently, which now that I've kind of explained the product, I'm going to talk about the main 3 points that you need to know before you buy a product, especially during a pre-sale time like this. Number 1, EV, or expected value for a pre-sale product, is not worth evaluating. It's good for big businesses, but not for the layman, not for somebody who's going to be getting the cards in hand a couple days after release, people who are waiting on shipping. Number 2, before you buy a product like this, you should know that this is a new age of variants and foils and alternate art cards. Unlike anything that we've ever seen, this has popped up in the last few years. I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of that, where it started and where I think it's going. And then finally, I'm going to talk about the collectability of this product altogether. What cards are literally in the product? What are the specific cards that they picked that are going to be your big hits? What is the land cycle like? We're going to get into all of that. Let's go ahead and talk about expected value. This is a nice little article. Again, I'm going to put all of this into the description of the video. This is over at Cool Stuff Inc., but I'm going to give you a basic breakdown. Essentially, you look at the rare slot in the pack, or with these collector boosters, you would be looking at each slot, and then you look at the rares or mythics in each of those slots that are possible. You take the value of all of those cards, and then you divide it. This gives you a basic idea of the estimate of what a pack's value is. Right now, Call Time Collector booster boxes are $199. That comes out to roughly $16 per pack. So keep in mind when you're opening a $16 pack, you're really hoping to get good, valuable cards that aren't going to tank in price. So right now, the price of most of the cards in Call Time is inflated. You have a lot of people that are theory crafting for their decks. They don't have the cards in hand, so they're just looking at possibilities based on cards that exist or other cards in Call Time. The reason I bring up expected value or this EV is because whenever I make a review like this, there's always a couple people that are like, why didn't you just tell me if it was worth it based on the number of dollars? Well, because if I did that right now on January 21st, 2021, before the set comes out, and I said, you should totally buy this, you're going to get like $400 or $500 worth of cards in the box based on these current prices. That would be irresponsible, because by the time you open the box and you get the cards in hand, everybody else is going to be doing exactly what you're doing and trying to sell the cards back to make money back on the investment. When you do this while you're racing to the bottom with everybody else, it's too late. So who really benefits from an EV right now if it's not the player? Well, it's stores. It's big, huge retailers that sell Magic the Gathering cards and can afford to take the risks that pre-sales come with, which is people having buyer's remorse, canceling auctions. It really is a headache for everybody involved. So you have to be careful with those pre-sale prices. You want them to be competitive, but the entire idea around pre-sales is to sell cards that will later on be discovered to be bad at a good price now, so that you don't have to sell them off at a bad price later or a reasonable price later. So in these videos, you're never going to get an expected value from me on a product that hasn't come out yet. I wanted to get that out of the way because that is one of the most important things that I can tell anybody who is interested in a product like this, is to not judge its value based on the inflated pre-sale prices. And stick with me, because there is something that you could judge this product on, and I'm going to get into that. The second thing that you must consider before buying a product like this and determining if it is worth it is just simply knowing about this new age of foils and variants. Originating in October of 2018, what you're looking at here is Guilds of Ravnica Mythic Edition. This product was sold on Hasbro's site. It was an absolute nightmare. There were subsequent products that followed it that were also sold on that site before Wizards of the Coast adopted the Secret Lair model and the Collector Booster model. These products were very widely desired, and they were also a headache for pretty much everybody involved in trying to order them. But what was really interesting about these products is this was the first time that we saw an extended art border on cards. And this is very notable because in the community in Magic the Gathering, you had a lot of people doing altars that were extending the borders on these cards. And you would see those altars pop up on social media, be it eBay, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. And so this was Wizards of the Coast saying, wow, this is an attractive frame. Let's see if we can adopt this model for our cards. So they created Mythic Edition, a product especially made for whales. It was a product that was overpriced, an experimental product, in my opinion, something that Wizards of the Coast put out as a way of testing, what are people going to buy? How much are they going to pay for this product? This product, I believe, originally came out and retailed for $250, $249.99. Yeah, there's the original price. It was October 3rd for $249.99. And if you were not there to order in the moment, if you did not have good internet connection, if you did not get lucky, a lot of people did not get this product. It sold out in essentially a matter of seconds. It was really annoying for everybody. Certain people who were involved got a special card, and it was a box topper. And it was a box topper from a set that none of us had seen yet, called Ultimate Masters. Those box toppers also had that treatment, like we're seeing here with Ugin and the extended art treatment, except the treatment back then was called a box topper and not an extended art card. This is a Tarmogoyf. It came out of that set. I was given a Tarmogoyf by Wizards of the Coast as compensation for it. Came in my pack, essentially, if you were involved in Mythic Edition, they sent you a card. Some people got a card. It came with a neat little note and a sealed box topper, and the note essentially said, "We're really sorry that everything went down the way it did. Here's a token of our appreciation for your business." They know that most of the people that were trying to order Mythic Editions spend a lot. And so it was a note written in such a way that was, we really appreciate you being such an enthusiast of the community. Here's a card. Thank you for that. I opened this card, Tarmogoyf, on the channel. You can find the video. I'll link it if you want to see it. I immediately flipped it because I know how hype works in this game. I sold that Tarmogoyf for $470 going into that holiday season, before we knew what Ultimate Masters was, before we knew what these box toppers were going to go to. I sold the card. It was like a gem mint 10. It was beautiful. I figured, I'm just going to sell this with a heavy heart. And now when I look at these prices, I'm very happy that I did. So that being said, that kind of lays the groundwork for where we've gone from here. So this came out, you have Ravnica Allegiance, and then you ultimately had War of the Spark Mythic Edition. And War of the Spark Mythic Edition was the nail in the coffin for this kind of product, these Mythic Editions. This was definitely not working for Hasbro as far as having a product sell on their site. Their site was crashing. It was a huge pain in the neck. A lot of the people who were involved in these got compensation from Wizards of the Coast, especially with the War of the Spark. Anybody who was involved in that got an uncut sheet of cards. Some people got multiple uncut sheets of rares and mythics. And this was pretty much the nail in the coffin for Hasbro. They just could not get it right. This was a huge debacle as well. They brought us Jace and Ugin, two highly desirable cards before Modern was completely annihilated due to COVID. This was the product that everybody went crazy for. And you might look at these and go, well, wait a minute, most cards are looking like this. You have to understand these cards came before all of the arena full art stuff. These came before all of the full arts that you see in every single collector booster. This was new for players. And when they printed Jace in this treatment with this new art and in this extended border, everybody went crazy. The War of the Spark Mythic Edition actually sold for much more than you can buy it for now during the window of hype when this was coming out. You had sealed boxes of War of the Spark Mythic Edition sell for $1,000 or more. And a lot of people had their orders canceled. It was awful. Like I said, people got uncut sheets. Who is this product for? And it's for new collectors, people that don't have a reserve list position, but really want to, collect new pop-in MTG cards with new treatments, cards that aren't on the reserve list. Wizards of the Coast are trying to make those cards collectible, these big cards. They're offering new art. They're offering new borders. They're offering exclusive Secret Lair products. But if you're part of MTG, you know that Secret Lair is very much a thing, and we can expect many of those in the future. So very quickly after UMA, Ultimate Masters establishes these box toppers, and then there's this really nice little article here where Project Booster Fun, where they talk about essentially what I've talked about here, these borderless Planeswalkers, extended art frames, and then finally they get to Throne of Eldraine, which is where they say, hey, we're taking all of this stuff that we've done and we're going to do something new. We're going to start putting extended art cards into regular sets. It's not going to be a special product like a Masters set. It's just going to be regular sets, and every regular set that comes out is going to have showcase variants and extended art variants, and now everything else is history since then. So let's go back to collecting Kaldheim and talk about the final thing that you need to know. So Jake, what does this mean? You're saying that each of these sets has variants. Well, what variants are worth collecting? What are the good ones? What you need to know is that each set, we're looking at Kaldheim pre-sales here on Card Kingdom. Take a good look at these prices because I encourage you to come back and look at them later once this set has come out. We're looking at all the variants here. But what this means is that you're going to have a couple cards like any set that rise all the way to the top, and you're going to have most of the set tank. Here's Theros Beyond Death variants. And we'll just go low to high. And this is the only time I'm going to show you this. I'm not going to get into it much more, but look at all the extended art cards that sit at the bottom. And this is a set that's out of sight, out of mind. It's a standard set like any other set that has come and gone. but you can see tons of these extended art cards are under $1. A lot of them are $1. Many of them are $1. You have cards that are just like, this is an extended art land. It's $1. Here's the extended art Elspeth Sun's Nemesis Borderless Mythic variant, $2.29. And it goes on and on and on. Calyx, $3. You're like, well, that's not bad toward my pack price, but you bought the pack for $16. Which brings me to my final point, which is point 3, which is judge the product based on its commander collectability. So what does that mean specifically? How good is the product based on the singles that are in the booster packs? Based on the cards that you can pull, how good is it for commander? If it is about money for you and not about fun, if you're trying to open this product and get the most value out of it, evaluate what cards you think are going to make a splash in commander. Because as someone who's been collecting for a long time, as someone who's experienced and watched their modern and pioneer singles collapse during COVID, the collectability just isn't there for those formats. If it is not an eternal format like Commander, or feature reserve list cards like lots of vintage decks, legacy decks, it's finite. That's the difference between these cards and reserve list, is that reserve list is finite. It's like mining Bitcoin. Essentially, once it's all gone, it's gone. That's why you have this huge surge in prices in reserve list cards, and you have less people that are interested in these new showcase foils, these new showcase variants. And here's the big difference between this product, and right here you're looking at Commander Legends Collector's variants. The big difference between this product and this is that this not only has a huge busted card like Jeweled Lotus, but it has cards that are tried and true like Mana Drain, Vampiric Tutor, and Scroll Rack, and so on. We had some new outstanding cards that came out of Commander Legends like Hull Breacher. We have all these etched foils that are commanders that offer a variant for popular commanders, be it partner or solo commanders. So you have a set here that is completely geared toward commander. It has a pretty good land cycle, which is something we're going to talk about as well. It has cards that are tested in commander, and it has cards that aren't tested in commander. But the entire set is focused on commander. The big difference between Call Time from Commander Legends is A, it features all new cards. It's a set that's designed for standard. It is not a set that is designed for commander. It does have good commander cards in it, but all of these cards as of right now are untested in MTG's multiverse. So yeah, you can theory craft and you can talk about how great certain combos are going to be, but until you're actually playing it, you really don't know. Now, there are some cards where you can look at them and go, wow, Jeweled Lotus is absolutely busted. It's fast mana for your commander when you need it in the moment. Like, it's easy to look at a card and evaluate that and say, wow, you know, if you get that in your opening hand, that is just absolute gas. It's harder to evaluate with cards like, oh, the new Vorinclex. It isn't exactly a Jeweled Lotus. The new Valki, God of Lies, isn't exactly a Mana Drain. The Goldspan Dragon isn't exactly Vampiric Tutor, although Goldspan Dragon does go infinite, World Tree does do crazy stuff with Golos, and so on. So I'm not saying there aren't good commander staples in Call Time, but I am saying that that isn't the sole purpose of this set, unlike Commander Legends, which is why you see that reflection in the Commander Legends collector booster box price, which is around $320, and Call Time, which is around $200. But essentially, that's what I think about as a collector. I say, what are the big hits? Are there big commander hits? And then I always look at the land cycle. For example, in Theros Beyond Death, we're looking at the Theros Beyond Death variants here. You can see the land cycle is all temples. It's all the scry lands. They enter tapped, you get to scry. They're good in standard, but otherwise they're kind of forgettable. Some people play them in EDH. Compared to a set like Ikoria, which is what we're looking at here, let's go ahead and sort by type, and we'll do land again, and I hit apply. And for example, those scry lands are not nearly as attractive to me as the triomes that came out of Ikoria. So every single collector product that comes out, those are the main things I look at. What are the big hits in Commander? What are the cards that are probably going to be good in Commander? And what is the land cycle like? Which means if I'm not pulling those mythics in those packs, and I am pulling rares. Am I going to pull good rares like Hull Breacher and Opposition Agent and good lands like the Triomes? Or am I going to pull scry lands like in Theros Beyond Death? If I'm lucky enough to get a rare extended card, is it going to be a good land? Or is it just going to be some jank that's 59 cents like I was showing you earlier on Card Kingdom? Because you get rid of land, and I'll show you it's in every single set. When you spend $20 on a pack and you get a 49-cent extended art card and you're like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be special, you very quickly learn the hard lesson that it isn't. So with these packs, you can gamble, you can buy a single pack and you can absolutely whiff and hit straight air, or you can get very lucky and you can pull like a foil mythic and then a foil extended mythic. You can get a very expensive, exciting booster pack. And you could say, well, Jake, isn't that what all booster packs are? You're buying a pack and sometimes you get lucky. Yes, absolutely. But there's a big difference between a $4 booster pack and a $20 booster pack, which is the entire point. $199.97 for Call Time Collector Booster Box. Is it worth it? It depends on how much you value the cards. If you're trying to have an experience that's, I want to open the new set and I have capital, I have money set aside to do that, then great, open it. I will buy one box for myself. That's it. But if you're the kind of person who's like, I can open this and if I pull well, I'm just going to make rent, dude. I'm just going to like make my money off of these cards. No, absolutely not. Not in a million years. You can pull well. You could pull the Great Henge of the set, which is a great pull. You could pull the Jeweled Lotus of the set. You could pull the whatever, the Uro of the set, the Oko of the set, and you can get lucky. But by the time you get this, if you're not a store, if you haven't already sold your pre-sales, if you aren't selling pre-sales right now, by the time you get this product, you're going to be like everybody else and you're going to be opening it with all of them in the race to the bottom as far as the value of these cards. As far as the non-desirable cards, the cards that aren't the Vorinclex, the cards that aren't the Tybalt's Trickery or the Extended World Tree, all of those cards are going to race to the bottom. And I would just say, yeah, make sure to undercut everybody else a significant amount, and hopefully you can sell the card before somebody else undercuts you. Call Time Collector Booster, is it worth it? Yeah, for the price, if you want to open the cards, if it's something that you're going to enjoy, if you're going to use them, if you want to play with them, if you're excited for the new set, buy it. But if you're trying to buy this to flip singles and make money, no, it is not worth it. It isn't. You need to be a store to do that. You need to having been doing that already. You need to be way ahead of this. If you're just a random person, just buy this to open it because you want to play with the cards. Otherwise, buy Reserve List. If you're looking for something that's going to go up in price over time, buy Reserve List. There's a reason why those cards are spiking into the stratosphere, and it's not like there aren't good cards that come out of these new sets, but the Reserve List is finite, and true collectors realize that. And you can be mad at me. You could say, Jake, how dare you talk about how the Reserve List works? Well, let me know in the comments. I mean, I'm just telling you as a realist, as somebody who has been collecting for a long time, for more than a decade, what I think about. But it is an opinion, like anything else. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not going to run to the hills buying Call Time Collector booster boxes, but for the people who are interested, I think it's going to be a great experience like any other booster pack cracking experience. Don't expect the Call Time border to be more expensive. Don't expect the foiling to be different and better. It's all cardboard to WotC. It doesn't matter if it has two sides, if it's printed on both sides, if it's covered in gold. It's all just cardboard. It could have the coolest border in the world. It could look like it's made in outer space. It could be holographic. It could be inverted. It's all just adjectives to help pump more of the same stuff. I hope that doesn't sound cynical. It's just the way it is. Until next time, I'm Jake with Jake and Joel Are Magic. Tapped out.